Hello, Dinar Daily, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into the latest global financial developments that are captivating audiences from all corners of the world. We've seen a growing community of people who are united by a shared interest in understanding the intricate shifts happening in the global economy, especially concerning currency reevaluations and a potential global currency reset. This channel has become a trusted space where individuals, from seasoned investors to everyday people, come together to analyze these unfolding financial reforms. Our audience spans continents from North America to Europe, the Middle East to Asia, and across Africa and South America, testament to the universal appeal of our message of transparency and readiness for the future. People tune in not just to hear the latest news, but to feel connected to a larger discussion about financial empowerment and knowledge. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and sharing this content with others who are interested in these topics. Your support helps us continue to be a leading voice in this community, providing daily updates on global currency reevaluations and broader banking news. Every like, share, and subscription helps to strengthen this platform, making it a powerful resource for awareness and readiness in a rapidly changing world. Now, let's get right into today's key news, because things are moving at a fast pace on the international financial stage. While there is always a swirl of rumors and speculation around the timelines of reevaluations and global currency resets, our focus remains on verifiable information. We prioritize examining credible policy changes and real-world economic signals that provide solid clues about future trends. Recently, we've seen mounting evidence that the established global financial order is undergoing a significant transformation, with more and more countries implementing meaningful reforms and opening their markets to a wider array of international participants. One of the most compelling stories to emerge is directly from Vietnam, a nation that has been on a remarkable economic journey for the last 2 decades. For many years, Vietnam was seen primarily as a developing country grappling with the complexities of rapid population growth and the need for modernization. However, that perception is changing dramatically. Today, Vietnam is strategically positioning itself as a competitive hub for manufacturing, global trade, and foreign investment. This shift has profound implications not only for its national currency, the Vietnamese dong, but also for the broader stability of the Southeast Asian region. This is particularly relevant to those who follow currency markets, as countries like Vietnam and Iraq, which are undergoing significant reforms, are often seen as candidates for major exchange rate adjustments as part of a potential global financial restructuring. The spotlight is currently on Vietnam's anticipated upgrade to emerging market status by FTSE Russell, which is rumored to be happening in the near future. This designation, though it might sound like a technical detail, carries immense weight in the financial world. When a country's stock market is reclassified in this way, it's a powerful signal to major global investors that the nation is now considered stable and transparent enough to handle large-scale institutional capital. Practically speaking, this change could unlock billions of dollars in new investment, which would flow directly into Vietnamese stocks, businesses, and critical infrastructure projects. For Vietnam, this upgrade could mark a major turning point, much like the rapid economic growth seen in countries such as China and India after they achieve similar milestones. It's worth noting that Vietnam has been diligently preparing for this moment by modernizing its financial infrastructure, improving market accessibility, and aligning its regulations with international best practices. Investors who previously might have overlooked the dong are now paying closer attention, recognizing that a significant influx of capital often leads to a stronger currency. For those tracking the larger narrative of currency revaluation, Vietnam's progress serves as a compelling real-world example of how foundational reforms and policy changes can set the stage for major currency movements. It's not about an instant change, but rather a methodical laying of groundwork for something bigger. Part of Vietnam's preparation for this important upgrade includes the passage of new laws and regulatory reforms designed to make the country more appealing to foreign investors. One of the most crucial of these changes is the implementation of Decree 22, which is focused on improving the management of official development assistance, ODA. In the past, international investors were often cautious about committing significant capital to Vietnam due to bureaucratic hurdles, restrictive policies, and inconsistent oversight that created a great deal of uncertainty in project financing. With Decree 2042, however, Vietnam is directly tackling these concerns. The decree works to streamline the management of funds, enhance transparency, and ensure that capital is used more efficiently across both the public and private sectors. This is particularly significant because ODA and foreign direct investment are central to fueling long-term economic development. Without proper regulation, these inflows often fail to reach their full potential. By reforming its approach, Vietnam is signaling to the international community that it is serious about becoming a major global economic player and that it welcomes responsible, large-scale participation from foreign entities. Analysts are already projecting that these reforms will attract more multinational corporations, particularly in key industries like technology, renewable energy, and manufacturing. The long-term effect is clear: stronger economic growth, a more resilient economy, and a positive trajectory for the Vietnamese dong. For those of us following revaluation trends, this is the kind of structural change that adds genuine substance to the conversation. To understand the scale of Vietnam's economic shift, we can use a relatable analogy. Think about when a city hosts a major event like the Olympics or the Super Bowl. The impact is immediate and highly visible. Tourists flock in, businesses thrive from the sudden surge of customers, and local services, from transportation to hospitality, experience record demand. Restaurants are packed, hotels are fully booked, and shops sell out of merchandise. Beyond the obvious spending, there's a ripple effect as money circulates throughout the local economy, creating jobs, stimulating construction, and generating a general sense of prosperity. Now imagine what happens when this type of capital influx is not limited to a few weeks, but is structured to last for years. This is precisely the opportunity Vietnam is creating by reforming its financial system and passing investor-friendly laws like Decree 2042 instead of a one-time event. These changes are designed to attract continuous streams of foreign capital into the country. International corporations will not only invest but also establish permanent offices, factories, and supply chain networks within Vietnam. This ensures a steady inflow of jobs, technology, and expertise, far exceeding the temporary gains of a sporting event. Over time, this sustained investment builds stronger industries, increases Vietnam's competitiveness on the global stage, and boosts the confidence of investors in the dong. The analogy to the Olympics or Super Bowl is a useful way to think about this. But Vietnam's reforms are even more powerful because they are designed to transform the entire economy, not just create a short-lived boom. The numbers behind this transformation provide even clearer evidence of Vietnam's forward momentum. Historically, the nation's disbursement rate for official development assistance, ODA, funds hovered around 52% annually, a figure that indicated inefficiency, bureaucratic hurdles, and missed opportunities. Essentially, nearly half of the money pledged by international donors and investors was not being utilized, which limited Vietnam's ability to fully capitalize on the promised support. However, reforms implemented in 2024 have already produced dramatic results. In just the first 4 months of the year, Vietnam exceeded its historical average, proving that the new framework is not just theoretical but highly effective in practice. Officials are now targeting an additional $370 million in disbursements before the year's end, and projections suggest Vietnam will cross a key threshold. This surge in ODA utilization directly translates into expanded infrastructure projects, better public services, and stronger private sector growth. On a macroeconomic level, it also significantly strengthens Vietnam's foreign exchange reserves, which are held by the State Bank of Vietnam. Larger reserves give the central bank greater power to defend the dong against depreciation, reduce inflationary pressures, and increase overall stability in the financial system. A stable currency not only attracts more foreign investors but also reassures domestic businesses that their operating environment is secure. This combination of capital inflows, enhanced reserves, and improved economic management creates a positive feedback loop, fueling confidence and paving the way for the dong to appreciate over time. In the broader context of global currency revaluation discussions, these concrete steps in Vietnam serve as compelling evidence of how serious reforms can directly impact a currency's strength. This story isn't just about numbers, it's about confidence. And confidence is what truly drives real economic transformation. When a country has stronger foreign exchange reserves and passes investor-friendly laws, it isn't simply improving statistics on a balance sheet. It is signaling to the world that it is a reliable, stable, and forward-thinking economy. In Vietnam's case, these reforms directly translate into tangible projects that impact the daily lives of millions. With greater financial security, Vietnam can expand critical infrastructure, from modern highways and high-speed rail networks to ports and industrial zones that facilitate trade and commerce. Energy projects, including renewable power generation, can now attract long-term funding from international partners, ensuring that the country's growth is both sustainable and resilient. Education and healthcare systems benefit as well, with more resources available to train a skilled workforce, improve public health outcomes, and foster innovation. Every investment, whether in construction, technology, or service sectors, creates jobs and transfers knowledge, ultimately raising living standards for Vietnamese citizens. Most importantly, every dollar invested flows through the Vietnamese dong, increasing domestic demand for the currency. Stronger demand supports a more stable exchange rate and helps prevent sudden depreciation. Over time, these systemic improvements contribute to a self-reinforcing cycle. Confidence draws investment. Investment strengthens the economy, and the stronger economy, in turn, builds even more confidence in both local and international markets. For anyone following the global financial scene or tracking potential currency movements, this type of structural reform is a key indicator that Vietnam is laying the groundwork for sustainable appreciation of its currency, rather than relying on speculative or short-term fluctuations. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, projections underscore just how far Vietnam could go in the coming years. According to recent forecasts, Vietnam's economy is expected to grow by approximately 6.5% in the near future, a rate that positions it among the fastest-growing economies in Southeast Asia. Much of this momentum is directly linked to the reforms already being implemented, from improved ODA utilization to enhanced regulatory frameworks that attract foreign capital. Such growth has several practical effects. It narrows trade deficits by boosting exports, strengthens domestic industries, and creates a fertile environment for the dong to gradually appreciate. Importantly, this appreciation is not expected to happen suddenly or as a result of pure speculation. Currency markets operate through gradual shifts in supply and demand, influenced by investor confidence, trade balances, and long-term economic performance. While headlines may sometimes promise dramatic overnight results, real-world currency movements are cumulative and incremental. Vietnam's current trajectory, however, sets the stage for steady, measurable gains. Investors who understand this process recognize that a stable, reform-oriented government, combined with growing reserves and ongoing foreign investment, creates the perfect environment for sustainable currency strength. In other words, Vietnam is not relying on chance or a short-term hype. The country is methodically building the foundation for long-term economic resilience and gradual appreciation of the dong, which is precisely the type of environment that prudent global investors seek when evaluating emerging markets. Vietnam's upcoming stock market upgrade could vary, while be the most significant catalyst yet for both the economy and the dong. If FTSE Russell finalizes its move, Vietnam will officially be reclassified as an emerging market, a milestone that carries profound implications. This upgrade will open the door for the country to gain access to a vast network of global asset managers, overseeing a combined portfolio of trillions of dollars in assets. To put that in perspective, this level of capital access is unprecedented for Vietnam and positions its stock market to benefit from long-term, sustainable growth. Unlike short-term speculative inflows, this type of capital is institutional, disciplined, and focused on long-term performance. which provides constant exposure to global investors and further integrates Vietnam into the international financial system. Over time, companies listed on the Vietnamese stock market will benefit from increased liquidity, higher valuations, and improved corporate governance. The cumulative effect strengthens investor confidence and encourages foreign enterprises to expand their operations locally. For the Vietnamese economy, this translates into new job creation, higher productivity, and innovation across multiple sectors. Every new project and every new dollar flowing into the market strengthens the domestic financial ecosystem and increases demand for the Vietnamese dong. While headlines may focus on the immediate excitement of an emerging market upgrade, the real significance lies in the sustained, consistent support this brings to the currency and the broader economy. The impact of this stock market upgrade creates what analysts call a residual effect on the dong. In simple terms, the upgrade itself does not directly trigger an immediate revaluation of the currency. Rather, the residual effect occurs as a result of consistent capital inflows, greater investor confidence, and enhanced transparency and regulatory standards. All of these factors work together to gradually strengthen the dong over time. Instead of sharp spikes or sudden jumps, the dong is more likely to experience incremental appreciation, reflecting the underlying improvements in the economy and financial markets. For anyone observing these developments, this means patience and strategic planning are crucial. Building relationships now with trusted professionals and establishing a clear and well-considered strategy for the future is highly recommended. Anyone interested in these developments needs to understand their goals and how to navigate these financial shifts. Relying on solid facts and official updates is far more effective than chasing rumors, speculation, or misinformation that often circulate online. The fundamentals of the Vietnamese economy appear strong, but success depends on disciplined preparation, realistic expectations, and a measured approach to navigating these changes in Vietnam's economy and currency landscape. Vietnam's recent reforms are doing more than just improving statistics. They are fundamentally reshaping the investment landscape by reducing corruption, increasing transparency, and instilling long-term confidence in both domestic and international investors. Practically speaking, this means that businesses and financial institutions can operate with greater predictability and lower risk, which encourages capital commitments that span years, not months. A useful comparison is how a city prepares to host a major global event. Officials don't just build stadiums. They improve roads, airports, hotels, and public safety systems to handle the influx of visitors while ensuring long-term benefits for residents. Vietnam is doing something very similar at a national financial level. By strengthening regulatory oversight, streamlining official development assistance, ODA disbursement, and implementing investor-friendly laws, the country is creating a system where global investors feel secure, establishing permanent operations. The result is a more resilient economy capable of handling larger foreign inflows without destabilizing local markets. Over time, this combination of structural reform and enhanced confidence drives demand for the Vietnamese dong, creating the foundation for sustainable currency appreciation. Every new investment project or business expansion circulates through the local economy, benefiting not just corporations but also ordinary citizens through job creation, technological transfer, and improved public services. In essence, Vietnam's government is laying the groundwork for a financial ecosystem that is designed to thrive long after the initial reforms are implemented. This CGCNNEL has consistently highlighted that the Vietnamese dong is on a path to gradual strengthening, beginning with a controlled float, followed by a steady, long-term revaluation process. It is important to understand that this is not a matter of flipping a switch or experiencing an overnight windfall. Currency markets operate through supply and demand dynamics influenced by economic performance, investor sentiment, and structural reforms. Vietnam's approach ensures that any appreciation of the dong is sustainable and grounded in fundamental improvements across the economy. Reforms, capital inflows, and enhanced investor confidence create a positive feedback loop that supports steady strengthening rather than sudden volatile swings. For those observing these developments, the key takeaway is a combination of patience and strategic planning. Following reliable channels, monitoring economic indicators, and understanding the underlying drivers of currency movement are far more effective than reacting to speculation or hype. Vietnam's path illustrates how methodical reform, careful financial planning, and global integration can produce reliable and measurable results. In short, the Dong's future strength is being built on real economic foundations, ensuring that growth is both lasting and meaningful for the nation, its citizens, and global investors looking to participate responsibly in Vietnam's ongoing transformation. This is why now is the time to take deliberate action and prepare thoughtfully for the opportunities ahead. Knowledge is power, and in a rapidly evolving financial environment, educating yourself is a crucial step. Building strong relationships with trusted professionals who have proven expertise and integrity is highly valuable. These individuals can provide guidance, clarify complex processes, and help you navigate both short-term decisions and long-term planning. Equally important is developing a clear strategy for handling any potential investments or currency exchanges. Rushing in without preparation or mixing verified information with rumors can create unnecessary risk and frustration. By focusing on solid facts, official updates, and practical steps, you put yourself in a position to make informed decisions while minimizing mistakes. Every careful action taken now builds the foundation for sustainable results in the future. Whether it's managing currency conversions, tracking economic developments, or understanding market timing, responsible planning ensures that opportunities are fully leveraged while avoiding the pitfalls of speculation. Remember, this is not about chasing quick wins. It is about being a good steward of the resources, knowledge, and opportunities that are available. By remaining disciplined, patient, and attentive, you create a framework that allows for both potential growth and protection of your interests, ensuring that every move you make aligns with long-term stability. Staying informed, staying prepared, and staying grounded in facts is the guiding principle behind every update shared here. Knowledge, when combined with careful action, empowers individuals to make choices that can benefit themselves, their families, and their broader communities. Our team remains committed to delivering timely, reliable, and practical updates on financial developments so that our viewers can act responsibly and strategically. Our daily podcasts provide not just news but also context, analysis, and actionable steps to navigate these complex financial landscapes. To stay connected and ensure you never miss an update, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Engaging with this community also means learning from others, exchanging insights, and reinforcing a culture of fact-based preparation over speculation. In closing, the message is simple but profound. Act with awareness, plan with care, and maintain integrity in every decision. By doing so, you honor the opportunities before you and position yourself to benefit from the gradual, sustainable changes happening in Vietnam, Iraq, and the global financial system. Thank you for being a part of this community. We remind you to stay informed, stay prepared, and always prioritize factual information. The content provided is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended as financial, investment, or legal advice. All information is based on publicly available sources, and we do not make any guarantees regarding its completeness or reliability. All investments carry risk, and you assume full responsibility for any decisions made. Please verify information independently and exercise caution in all financial matters.